Oh, hello world. My name is Stephen Walker and welcome to my channel, A Walker in the Woods. I am coming to you today from the back end of my office, uh, where I sleep 2 nights a week because I drive. I have a long commute from where I live. Let's see. Today is Monday, and I will also be in my office on Tuesday. Let's take a look. So if this is the first video that you're tuning in and watching, uh, I'm talking about doing a 10-day water fast. And I've done fasts in the past, and this one, 10 days, is just long enough to reboot my body and get me prepared to go full carnivore for the remainder of November. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to take a look at some information that I have. Okay, so the MOVEmber challenge, my 10-day water fast. I am now on day 4. I've just passed day 4 actually. At 4 p.m. on October 31st is when I had my last meal, finished my last meal. So I'm technically going into day 5. But day 4, observations of physical mental state. I have turned the corner on the fast, and it seems for me to be day 4. The first 3 days, the stomach likes to gurgle a bit and remind me that it's becoming empty, and my mind is a bit muddled, a bit slow, a bit foggy. But when I was driving in today from my home to my office, which is about an hour and a half commute, I noticed that my eyes were extremely clear and sharp, and my brain is also coming out of the fog. And again, I've talked about this before, either on this channel or when I interviewed with Dave Mack on his channel a couple days ago. But when we go into a longer extended fast, the body is basically beginning to starve. And when it's doing that, it's going to, number one, start using energy from the fat reserves, but it's also going to be looking for new forms of energy in the form of food. And so all of our senses become enlightened, heightened. Hearing becomes better. If you have issues with ear problems, I've always had a problem with my left ear, and I often find that when I'm clean, on a clean diet, or on a fast, a lot of these issues start going away. I also think that the jawline is starting to come back a bit, but again, the eye clarity. I have had glasses since I was a young boy in probably third grade onwards, and I wore glasses and then contacts, and only until, I don't know, what was it, maybe 9 or 10 years ago, I got LASIK surgery here in South Korea, where I live. And it was great. But being on a crappy diet and drinking booze and being lethargic, oftentimes in the morning, my eyes would be a bit cloudy, not clear, blurry, and I was kind of thinking, I wonder if I should go back to the ophthalmologist and get my eyes checked and possibly get glasses again. But I can tell you, today the eyes are bright and my mind is working much better than it was when I interviewed with Dave. I know I say a lot, or and it's kind of odd for me because I don't generally this is one of the first times that I've ever done this type of YouTube channel where I'm sitting here talking to a computer. So I'll have to try and get that straight in my mind. So my mental state is clear, much clearer anyways, and my physical state, my body, my muscles are still a bit sore from the workout I had 2 days ago in the gym. So I'm actually taking Benjamin Franklin's advice as far as resting and fasting. I rested yesterday. Well, today I rested partly because I've been very busy. It's about, or it is 4:30 p.m. on a Monday, and I finished classes and I had errands to do. So yeah, that's about what my physical and mental state are. I'd also like to talk about this topic here, what I think the number one difficulty is when fasting, and I'd like to know what you think. What comes to your mind when you see this question? After we discuss that for a bit, then I'm going to give a bit of information about what soft lean mass is, because it is one of the metrics in the InBody Fit that I am using. And do I still, I mean, I researched it a bit. Do I really know what it is exactly? No, but I will give you some Google definitions. And again, if I'm wrong or if I'm close and you have better information, please share. So, the number one difficulty when fasting, what do you think it is? Is it the hunger, the thirst, the smell, the lethargy? I will say it is boredom. Boredom. Because when we are fasting and only drinking water, we are not in the kitchen, we're not sniffing around the refrigerator, not making a snack, not making dinner, breakfast, or lunch, if you eat all three, with the onesies and the twosies and whatever in between. When it's only water, you have much more time on your hands. So what do you do with it? Do you have a good book to read? And if you do, if you do enjoy reading, I suggest finding books that focus on fasting. And I have one recommendation: Paul Bragg of the Bragg Apple Cider Company. Him and his daughter ran it, Patricia Bragg, for many years, and she passed away just recently, a couple years ago. And Paul Bragg, he lived up well into his 80s and 90s and was a strong advocate for fasting. He would do hikes through Death Valley, still surfing, active all the way up until he died. Um, but the book, The Miracle of Fasting by Paul Bragg, is definitely a recommendation. A lot of great information in it, and it keeps you focused and motivated. I'm sure there are many other books out there on fasting, but these days people don't like to read as much as they did in the past due to the internet and the wealth of knowledge, information, and podcasts and videos such as, or channels such as this, that talk about anecdotal evidence of what is happening to your personal well-being, your mind, your body. So if you do a long-term fast over 3 days, and I'm doing 10, you got to find something to do with your time. And I am a self-publisher, self-published author, written a couple books, and I'll talk about those in a different genre on this channel. But if you look up here, all those boxes are books. So as a self-published author, I am also the warehouse. In any case, boredom, go for a hike, go for a walk, a swim, or just lay in bed and rest. Get that valuable sleep in. What you do is up to you. So for me, I like to keep active my mind and my body. And so I am working on a third book, a third ESL textbook. And so that's what I'm doing in front of the computer, but I want to get away from the computer. So it's a beautiful weather in Korea these days, getting outside, walking around the lakes that we have near the university, and just getting some sunshine. Soft, lean mass. So one of the metrics on the iFit thing that I have here is soft, lean mass. So what is it exactly? Soft, lean mass refers to the various types of muscle. Yesterday we talked about the skeletal uh, muscle, but this is the various types of muscle that include the cardiac muscle, smooth muscle, which is, I presume, the involuntary muscles, and skeletal muscle is also included in soft lean mass. This is an important distinction to understand because analyzers, which is what I have, is I guess that's what they're referring to as my body composition machine. They differ according to the brand, and they don't all use the same terminology, but mine does. And the more lean body mass you have, the higher your metabolism is likely to be. So a high metabolism is good, from what I understand. I'm not a doctor, but high metabolism, digesting your food and having the energy and the body's working as it should. So if we have more lean body mass, that means that our metabolism is also likely to be higher. Having a healthy percentage of lean body mass make you may make you less likely to become sick or to develop health problems such as heart disease and diabetes. And the carnivores that are listening to this, we kind of know through other anecdotal stories that we've heard over and over and over again that proper human diet, beef, butter, bacon, eggs, or just beef and water, obviously, it definitely reduces the risk of heart disease and often reverses, if not quote unquote, cures diabetes. Is anything ever cured? And what does cure mean? Cure. To cure meat means to pack it in salt. Don't know. Note that this isn't what most people refer to when they talk about building muscle. In most cases, they're in fact thinking of skeletal muscle. So the skeletal muscle, as we talked about yesterday, is more of the bicep, the delts, the traps, the pecs, from what I understand. And again, this last sentence is basically the same as the first sentence. Again, it refers to the various types of muscle, which are cardiac, smooth, and skeletal. So soft, lean mass. I can definitely research more. I need to know more about it. I'm a reader, but I'm also a listener. And so I will probably search out a good YouTube video that with image. I'm right-brained. I like visuals. So when someone's talking to me and I can see something as they're explaining it, it sinks in much deeper into my soft, lean mass. So let's take a look at today's results. So again, this InBody Fit is the phone app. screen capture, updated daily. And I'm keeping November 1st, which is the first day of my water fast, and the day, well, today and then the day before to kind of have a comparison. But the big data, again, my height is not changing. I don't expect it to change, but my weight is continuing to drop. So on day one, I was 98.6, yesterday, 96.1, and now 95.9. I weighed myself this morning when I woke up, and I think I was 95.1, which was another kilo. But I was busy and I had to commute, and so I didn't properly take the big data. And so I stepped on this Fit Score machine at 3:39 p.m. after classes were finished. And so I've been drinking a good amount of water throughout the day, particularly because I teach. I taught a writing class this morning, and I don't want the tummy to be gurgling throughout. That is distracting, especially when it's quiet and students are trying to concentrate and write. So I think a good portion of what increased from the morning is obviously water weight. The BMI starting out was 31.2, and now it dropped zero point 0.1 from yesterday, 30.3, so I'm on the right trajectory there. Skeletal muscle mass was 42.5 on the 1st of November. Yesterday was zero point 0.6, and I went up to zero point 0.8, and I guess I'm going to say that's good. Skeletal muscle mass, muscle is good. Muscle weighs more than fat. Soft, lean mass, which is what we just talked about today, it was 70. I went all the way down to 67.1, and now I'm up zero point 0.4. If a higher is better, I don't know how high is too high. I should probably look at the markers. But they say, what did they say? They said higher soft lean mass is a higher metabolic rate. The basal metabolic rate, which is what we'll take a closer look at tomorrow, was 1,969, and yesterday 03, and now 1911. So that is going back up. And again, my wife, when I first stepped on this machine a year ago, my wife, I think mine was up at upwards of 2,000, and my wife was impressed. She's a nutritionist in Korea. So I don't know. We'll find more out about that tomorrow. Percent body fat, 24.9 was the day one, and I went up, and now I'm going back down. So hopefully we'll continue to descend in this percentage uh, percentage marker. Body fat mass, 24.5 on the first. I went down, and now I'm back up to the same that I was to begin with. Visceral fat levels, the internal organ fat surrounding your vital organs, was and continued to be 11 up until today, and it dropped 1. Again, I don't know what LV is. I will look into that in 1, 2, 3, 4 days and give a Google explanation. If anyone else out there in YouTube land can garner me some information, I would appreciate it. Water. My mouth is still a little bit dry, but not as bad as it was yesterday or 2 days ago. And Trevi, I think this is pretty much, it's a lime flavored, but from what I understand, there's really very little to no calorie. And also, where is it? I am using when I drink my water, I'm using electrolyte powder. Uh, One person did remark that you got to keep the electrolytes up or else it'd be bad news. And I agree. What are electrolytes? Well, from what I understand, it's mostly just salt. So I am using salt, the Redmond salt, in my water. Not every glass, but we definitely need to keep the salt intake when we're depleting, urinating throughout the day. Waist hip ratio 1.02 went down and it's continuing to go down. It's under 1 now. So that's good. And the overall fit score was 756 today, and I started at 770. I presume a higher number is the best. I'm not 100% certain, but it was 748 yesterday, and now it's up to 756. So a lot of these numbers are going in the right direction. So I'm pleased with that. And I just passed basically four full days of not stuffing anything in my pie hole other than water and electrolytes. Okay. So again, here are the bars that kind of show me what is normal and what is over or above average and below the body fats here. 10, and I'm just right on the cusp of being normal with the visceral, and that is good news for me. From what I understand, the visceral fat is the most dangerous. If it gets too high of a number or too much fat, visceral fat in there, that can cause a lot of complications and problems with your health, overall health. And just down here, this is just basically how often I'm using it. And I am using it every day. So, upcoming content, I will talk obviously about day 5, which I'm starting already. But I will post a video on the 5th of November. Remember the 5th of November, a very big day in America. Got the Old Glory behind me. I have another flag over here. If anyone knows what that flag means, put it in the details, and I'll tell, or the comment section below, and I'll tell you if you're right or wrong. So I will give my observations tomorrow. Hopefully, the clarity and the overall well-being. I'm feeling energetic right now. I haven't eaten in 4 full days, but I can start feeling the body, the energy kind of pulsing in my skin, really. And it's not a bad feeling. It's not a painful feeling. It's a feeling of being totally alive. And generally, I've found in all of the fasts that I've done in the past, 3 days is about the limit of feeling shitty. And then the next few days, 10 days, upwards of 15 to 20, your body is becoming sharper, streamlined, and ready to make a kill because we are starving. It knows we are starving and it knows that it wants to find something to consume uh, in a decent amount of time, not immediate. I've got a lot of time before the body starts breaking down. And we will take a look at the basal metabolic rate tomorrow and the InBody fit metrics. That's the plan. And so, as always, or at least so far, I've been including a quote. This is by Robert M. Persig. I I believe, who says boredom always precedes a period of great creativity. Boredom always precedes a period of great a period of great creativity. And with creativity comes productivity. Being bored isn't a bad thing, honestly. If you're bored, it means you have time, and time is one of the most valuable things that we have. Health is wealth, health is number one, and then having the time to enjoy it. So if you're bored, take that as an opportunity to go inward, go into your mind, your soul, and wallow there for a little while and say, okay, I'm bored. Why am I bored? The world is absolutely amazing when you get outside and into it and away from technology. Maybe you're a budding author or painter or poet or mathematician, whatever. Right brain, left brain, whatever floats your boat. So being bored, I don't look at it as being negative, but it is a bit of a hindrance, an inconvenience when I'm fasting because then obviously you will think about food a bit too much, at least in the first 3 days. And today, this is day 4, and hopefully I will continue bringing positive results both on the metrics and as well as just how I am feeling overall, the sense of well-being. I can feel it. And I've been here before, so it's not like something that is totally new to me. But again, that flag, if anyone knows what it is, where it's from, what it represents, drop a line, drop your answer in the comments below, and I'll let you know. I'll let you know tomorrow when I'm back here in my office. So until tomorrow, I hope everyone is doing well and keeping healthy. And ciao for now.